Rotarians and guests, welcome to the Rotary Club of York, a premier service organization where our mission is to improve life in the city of York by connecting our club's diverse community leaders through fellowship, action, and service. I am your club president, Aaron Jacobs, and it is indeed a great day to be a Rotarian. And in case you haven't noticed, we are deeply rooted in service above self, and we abide by the four-way test. And that is, Mike, could you advance the slide? One more. There we go. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I will tell you, as I enter my final month of being club president, I have come to realize how important this four-way test has been for me in handling all club matters. And although it's not always easy, the four-way test always brings you to the right answer. Just keep that in mind as you, a community leader, must make challenging decisions. Having said that, we're going to get a great program going today with not 3, but 4 outstanding true Rotarians. We got a twofer on the opening song with Natalie Dennis and Jack Dyson, who will lead us in America the Beautiful, and one of them will lead us in the pledge, followed by the invocation delivered by past President Glenn Miller, and our guest will be introduced by past President Ann Druck. Friends.
Here we go. America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious sky, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty, among the first and plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and ground thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Unfortunately, the flag was not put out. Here it is. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's what we call pivoting. Well done. Good afternoon, Rotarians. Please prepare yourselves for prayer in the manner in which you are accustomed. Gracious God, from the beginning of time, you ordered human community and provided for structures and governments that would serve the common good with compassion and wisdom. In our beloved city of York, our challenges and needs are many. Yet in the midst of them, you have raised up leaders who have heard the call to serve, leaders who meet challenges with action and need with loving kindness. We are grateful for those leaders in our midst, especially this day for our mayor, Michael Helfrich, and for all those who are engaged with him in this vital work, from other elected officials to staff members, firefighters and police officers, educators and service providers. Be with him today as he shares his thoughts on the state of our city, and be with us as you call this club to serve our city and its needs. On this eve of the 80th anniversary of D-Day, we also remember all those whose sacrifice turned the tide of a world war and made possible the life and freedom that we enjoy this day. Bless the food that we have received, the hands that have prepared it and served it, and the fellowship and conversation that has taken place around it. To you, the one God of many names, we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to have the honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, we welcome you to stand and remain standing as you're able until President Aaron has an opportunity to welcome you. First, Thomas Burns is a guest of Jeff Vermillion. Alex Hess is a guest of Todd Hess. Annie Beck, a guest of Sarah Bradley. J-Ron Hunt, a guest of Montez Parker. The following individuals are all a guest of Youth Exchange: Gabby Philippe, Jennifer Philippe, Romuald Philippe, thanks, Aya Klein, Aziz Klein, and Hyra Bastari. We have a very special guest with us today, Miss Samantha Jacobs, the daughter of President Aaron Jacobs. Sibel Chambers is the guest of Tom Caltagirone. Leanthony Ragusa is the guest of Teresa Gregory. Jennifer Seal is the guest of membership. And finally, last but not least, Scott Miller is the guest of our speaker, the mayor, President Aaron.
I promised I wouldn't embarrass her, but a shout out to the prettiest girl in the room, Samantha Jacobs, who last week was awarded the Student of the Month Award from York Academy. Thank you. I'm going to give our visitors what I call the guest test. Do you like good food? Yes, you do. Do you like making new friends? You darn right you do. Do you like outstanding programs? Yes, of course you do. Do you have a heart for service? Okay, so here's the thing. You only needed to say yes to that last question to know that you should be a Rotarian. And everything else beyond that is just a bonus. So here's the math. If you haven't heard it before, you're going to know it now. You visit us the first time, welcome. We're glad to have you. You visit us the second time, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Visit us a third time and join the Rotary Club of York. Friends, let us welcome our guests today. Just a couple of quick announcements. The IDEA committee will meet on Monday, June 10th, 8 a.m. via Zoom. And I'll wait till Mike, you catch up there. There we go. And the PPE committee will meet on Wednesday, June 12th at 8 o'clock, also via Zoom. And President-elect Courtney is back. She's back from her long, exciting adventure abroad after attending the Rotary International Convention in Singapore. First of all, let me be the first to publicly welcome you back. And for those of you who follow Courtney on Facebook, you would agree that the trip looked like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see a new world and experience Rotary in a different way. And here to tell her travels, President-elect Courtney.
Thank you. All right. Each year, Rotary International has a conference. The conference brings together thousands of Rotarians from hundreds of countries. This conference this year had about 15,000 Rotarians who attended.
Bless you.
As President Aaron mentioned, this year, past President Rob Bowen and myself attended from our club, and there were also 6 others from our Rotary's district who also attended. Rob and I were on different flights, but the flight I took was the world's second longest flight, 19 hours and 10 minutes long, one way. We can go ahead and advance to the next slide. And the flight, unfortunately, we got grounded for about 3.5 hours before we took off. So it was 23 hours in the same seat. Quite an experience. I wasn't really on speaking terms with the person sitting next to me by the end of the plane ride, but it was an experience. I was also very surprised by the amount of food that they gave us on the airplane, and actual meals, like hot food, not just snacks. That was a plus for a 23-hour plane ride. So now to share with you a couple things from the conference. A strategic plan. As you know, we just rolled out our club's strategic plan. So the timing of Rotary International's emphasis on this was very relevant. They shared that their research showed that clubs who use and follow a strategic plan have more satisfied members and are able to make a greater impact. No surprise there, but it just further validates the direction that our club is moving. I attended many different breakout sessions that talked about Rotary specific topics, way too many to go into detail about, but a couple of the highlights were the future of AI in Rotary, as well as keeping new members on track with onboarding and orientation. I also had the opportunity to network with and meet lots of different Rotarians during meals and breakout sessions, including one of Rotary International's Board of Trustees, who actually, since meeting her, she's agreed to come to our club next month, which is really honestly a really exciting thing. On the last night of our conference, you'll see here pictured, we can go back one slide. Yep, just go back one. So on the last night of our conference, past President Rob and I connected with an individual named Raul. Raul was someone who participated in Rotary's group study exchange. Rotary doesn't have a group study exchange program anymore, but for those of you that are not familiar, it's kind of like youth exchange, but with adults, similar to that. And Raul came to our club 12 years ago. So he stayed with past President Rob Bowen. Does anybody remember Raul? I don't know, show of hands. Anybody else? Yeah, a couple people. Yay, good. And so now he lives in Singapore. So Rob, of course, contacted him and was like, hey, Raul, you want to have us at your house for dinner? So, so we went to his house for dinner. He lives in Singapore with his wife and 3 children. And it's interesting because whenever I host somebody at my house, we typically are having like one meat and maybe a vegetable and a starch. Not Raul. I mean, they laid out all this food. We had chicken, we had sausage, we had beef, we had noodles, another type of chicken, we had fish. It was truly a feast that his family had prepared for us. It was prepared by his wife, as well as their helper, Mary. And in Asia, it's pretty common for, or at least in Singapore, I should say, it's common for 3 out of 5 families to have a helper who lives with them, somebody to help with assisting with children and cooking and cleaning. And then after dinner, Raul gave past President Rob and I a tour of Singapore in his car, which was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have a car in Singapore because it cost around 100,000 US dollars to be able to have a car for 10 years in Singapore. The government tries to control the flow of traffic and not have too much traffic. So they make it very expensive to have. So he took us around in his car and we were able to have a private tour of Singapore by somebody who lives in Singapore. And that's honestly just one example of how cool Rotary is. Past President Rob had not connected with Raul for quite some time. And when he reached out, Raul cleared his schedule and he was supposed to be on a business trip, canceled that business trip, and he and his family welcomed us into his home as if we were his close family and friends. During our downtime, we did explore as much as we could, including eating fish stomach and jellyfish. I didn't know it was fish stomach when I was eating it. Right? I'm like, yeah, it's egg drop soup. Wrong. It was still good. We also walked, I mean, you walk everywhere. Walked a lot of the local markets. We rode in buses and boats and trains, and we ate pretty much every sort of dumpling that we could get our hands on. And we walked the Helix Bridge, and we enjoyed the famous light show at Gardens by the Bay. And then since I was already over there, after the Rotary conferences were over, I extended my stay and I traveled to Indonesia and Thailand, where I continued to just eat myself through those countries and traveling. I'm really grateful for this experience, and I can't wait to share everything that I learned with our club's individual committees in the coming weeks. Next year's conference will be held in Calgary, Canada, and I'm being told that they're expecting over 30,000 Rotarians to attend. It's open to any Rotarian to attend. If you've never experienced a Rotary International Conference, I would recommend doing so at least once in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, President-elect Courtney. Hey, Samantha, be sure to tell your brother that for dinner tonight, we're having fish stomach and jellyfish. Now she just see the look on her face. Father of the year. And now I'd like to invite Eric Chase to the podium because it's time for one of our final President's Challenge. Today's President Challenge comes from the Invocation Team volunteers, and the irony being that the structure of the committee has been changed through our strategic plan, but the need for the service in our club still exists. So I invite Eric to the podium to talk more about that. Eric.
We've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you?
Yeah. We got spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit.
All right, let's try it one more time. We've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you? Thanks for playing along, President Aaron. Good afternoon. I'm Eric Chase, and I had the honor of serving as the chairperson of the club's invocation committee. As Aaron said to you, it is now the invocation volunteer service team. And as we gather in community and friendship around the tables of this meeting room to share this meal together, this committee or this group is just a small group of faithful and dedicated individuals, about 6 or 8, who participate in the opening of our weekly club meetings by offering a time of invocation. And I'm not sure if you know the definition of invocation, so I'll give it to you. It's the act of invoking or addressing in prayer in the form of act or calling for assistance of the presence of any spiritual being, particularly of some divinity, a prayer said at the opening of a ceremony or service, a summoning of the spirit, or an incantation used for this calling. It's calling upon the truth, what is fair and what is right. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And our time is not a time for jokes or for political statements or personal opinions. May sound intense to some of you, but as Glenn showed you, I have a formula that I tried to use throughout invocations and our group tries to use. It's a simple formula to present weekly invocations. First, we ask you to prepare yourself for this time. Then we give thanks for the day, the meeting, Rotary. We try to connect it to the presenter of the topic and give gratitude and thanks for their work in our community, as Glenn did today. And then we give thanks for the food, for those who have prepared it and served it, and request that we may use this time and this food and the many blessings in our lives to better serve Rotary through our model of service above self. See, pretty simple. As we are acquired by the meeting services committee, notice I said we're acquired, we're not going to be merged. I learned something from one of our presentations, remember that. We're being acquired by the meeting service committee in the new Rotary year. Our work is still important and a strong traditional part of the Rotary Club opening. I encourage any fellow Rotarians who feel to be moved by the spirit to be part of our weekly program in this way, to reach out to Lynn or to speak to me about how you can be added to the team. I promise we're an easy lift. I have never held a committee meeting since I chaired this committee 5 years ago. I have never raised any funds, only spirits. I've made very few phone calls, but you do get to be in front of the club every 8 to 10 weeks. And the club members do get to know you by name and your face. And you get to serve by being a part of the long-standing tradition of our Rotary Club meeting opening of the invocation. So I ask you, do you got spirit? And if you do, why don't you join us? Why don't you join us and be part of the invocation volunteer team? And I'll even make it sweeter. If you do join us and you're not good at writing prayers, but you're a good public speaker, I'll write your first prayer for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. That was a break from our international component of today's program. And now to bring the international component back, I'd like to invite Andy and Jane to the podium to talk about our Sandafa project.
Thank you, President Aaron. I am here today to be very grateful. I'm just so grateful for this club and the resources that we have to share with our local community and with the global community. A few weeks ago, I told you that our Sandafa sanitation project is moving forward. All the funding's in place and we are ready to roll. So I'll keep you apprised of all the progress we're making on building those bottle house toilets. Today, I'm excited to announce that the Global Grants Project team has decided to deepen our commitment to Sandafa and to make an additional contribution to Sandafa to buy school supplies and medication for that community. We also took to heart the strategic plan and are looking for more ways to engage our members in global projects. It's kind of hard when it's not tangible. So I'm going to introduce Andy to come up and share with you a little bit more about the supplies we'll be providing to Sandafa and how you can play a part.
Good afternoon. So in just 37 days, I'll be helping to lead a 32-member team on a mission trip to Sandafa, Ethiopia. So medical providers, school teachers, and other community members will be going from our local community. Really excited about that. Only a 13.5-hour flight compared to what you had, but we're excited about that. We'll be going to a village of Sandafa, one of the poorest of poor areas in the world. If you think about 25,000 people that live in this community, less than half of them actually have access to a bathroom. So part of the funding that we provided, we're building bathrooms over the next year in Sandafa, which will be a huge benefit for people. So we're excited about being on this mission trip. An invitation for any of you, we're looking for about 10 volunteers. So on July 7th from noon to 2, we're looking for people who can help pack about 3,200 pounds of equipment, medical supplies, school supplies, food at Living Word Community Church. So again, July 7th from noon till 2, we're looking for about 10 Rotary members to join us in helping pack those supplies. So please see me, please see Jane or others if you have an interest. Love to get you more details, and that's another way for you to be part of the trip. So thank you. We're planning to see about over 3,000, 3,000 patients on this trip to provide free medical care. So what a blessing it will be. Thank you.
Now, the international part of our program wouldn't be complete if we didn't invite some youth exchange students here to talk a little bit about what they have coming up. And so I'd like to invite another outstanding true Rotarian, Ashley Etzweiler, to the podium to introduce our outbound exchange students. Ashley.
Okay, but you have to stay. Okay. So I'm switching it up a little bit. We're gonna do our current inbound student. Hi, she's leaving very soon. She's going back home to Indonesia. I have her certificate to show that she completed her program with us and she's had a wonderful experience. And I believe Hi is also going to give her country and her club's banner to our president. So Hi, if you'd like to come on up. Oh, sorry, we're a little unorganized. That was my fault. Come on up, Hi. Okay. So there you go. And thank you. If you want to just go ahead and just say a few words and then hand it to the president.
Say a few words. I guess thank you so much for this year. I had like a great year. I don't think my experience could have been any better than it was, like how it was. So I'm just very grateful for everyone who helped this experience be the best experience I've ever had.
Okay, I'd also like to thank Sarah White, who's here. She has been Hi's host family for a good portion of the year, so that was fantastic. We are looking for host families for our incoming student from Japan, so please feel free to contact Walt. Okay, our outbound students are, let me get this, Aya Klein, and she is going to Brazil. And then we have Gabby Philippe, and she is going to Italy, correct? Okay, they're going to tell us a few words about their experiences. Gabby, come on up.
So I was told that I was gonna say a speech about thanking this club, not my experiences that I'm gonna have. So so I prepared my speech thanking this club, and all of it's in Italian. And then I'll say it in English so you guys actually know what I'm saying. Okay. So, ciao, sono Gabby, sono di York e sono americana. La mia scuola si chiama York Suburban e sono al secondo anno di scuola superiore, liceo scientifico. Vado a Milano nel distretto Rotary numero 2042. Milano è in Lombardia, in Italia del Nord, vicino al lago di Como, alle Alpi e alla Svizzera. Vorrei divertirmi mentre imparo la cultura e la lingua italiana. Sono molto contenta di vivere una nuova avventura e avere l'opportunità di incontrare nuove persone e vedere posti nuovi alla mia età. Vorrei ringraziare i membri del club per questa speciale opportunità. Sono estremamente grata per il vostro supporto per questo scambio culturale. Grazie mille. Okay, that was the English part. Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm from York and I'm American. My high school is called York Suburban and I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm going to be a junior next year. I'm going to Milan with the Rotary District number 2042. Milan is in Lombardia in the north of Italy, and nearby is Lake Como, the Alps, and Switzerland. I would like to have fun while I learn the Italian culture and language. I'm very excited to live a new adventure and have this opportunity to meet new people and see new places at my age. I would like to thank the members of this club for this special opportunity. I'm extremely grateful for your sponsorship and my cultural exchange. Thank you very much.
Now, it's probably not as impressive as speaking Italian for the first half, but I'll do my best. Oi, tudo bem? Eu estou Aya Klein. I think one thing all teenagers can agree on is the fear of standing out. Everybody at that age, if you can remember yourself, wants to fit in and find familiarity within their lives, which begs the question, why do I want to be one of the only Americans in an all Brazilian school for 9 months? Well, I'll get to that point. My exchange year will take place in Brazil, specifically Cascavel, Brazil, within the state of Paraná. What makes this area special is its nearness to the borders of both Argentina and Paraguay. It is only around 2 hours away from Iguazu Falls, the biggest set of falls on the southern hemisphere. Within Cascavel, I'll be attending a private school where the principal himself is a Rotarian. I am so proud to have made it this far with the program, and it blows my mind that I'm even just standing here being able to give this speech. I am very grateful for the support I have received from Rotary and the sponsorship that has made it possible for me to do this. Without all you here, I would not be able to go on such a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. I would also like to thank my mom for all the sacrifices and commitments she made to help me get here. And Rotary, meeting new people, and building goodwill and better friendships, I think maybe it's not about standing out, but being able to fit in with people who have a different spark than yourself. And I think it is an honor to be able to be here and find those different sparks, even if it's in Brazil. Thank you for being able to give me this sponsorship, and obrigada. Thank you.
Congratulations to our 2 exceptional outbound Rotary Youth Exchange students. Your dedication, enthusiasm, and adventurous spirit has earned you this incredible opportunity. As you embark on this life-changing journey, know that we are incredibly proud of you. Embrace every moment, learn from every experience, and make lifelong memories. You are true ambassadors of our club, and we can't wait to hear more about your adventures. Safe travels, best wishes, and Kai, thank you for the gift, and safe travels back home to you. And now I'd like to invite past president Josh George to the podium to induct 3 new members. Josh.
Thank you, President Aaron, and good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. It's always hard to come after our youth and their stories and their experiences, but we will do our best. I will start out with the bad news. We are not quite yet at the 300 new member mark that President Aaron has been trying to get us to all year long.
Still trying.
Still trying. We're almost there. We're right around 297, give or take. So we're really, really close, and we're up about 15 members during this year over where we started. 17, very good. But of course, who's counting? Yeah. But we're on our way, and it's been a really good year. The good news is we have 3 new members to introduce you to today, and I would like to do that now. I will start on the far end, everybody's left. This is Rebecca Vandergroof. She goes by Becky. She went to Southwestern High School and went on to Shippensburg University, where she earned a bachelor in social work, and also Temple University, where she earned a master in social work. She is the CEO of Hoffman Homes out in Adams County, although she lives in York County. Her military service was she was in the U.S. Army Reserve between 1995 and 2008. Community service-wise, she is a board member of S&T Bank. She chairs the PA Council for Children, Youth, and Family Services. She's a member of the PA Child Welfare Council, and she's currently participating in the Executive Connections Program at Leadership York. Her hobbies include traveling, reading, and being active in her church. She is married to Dustin, and they are the parents of daughter Adrielle, who is 10. She is proposed for membership by Ron Bunt. Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Vandergroof. Moving from left to right, next is Julie Parthry. Julie is a graduate of York Suburban High School. She is the owner of Amazing Days Travel, and I imagine she has some ideas for Courtney about how to not get 23-hour flights if you guys want to connect after the meeting. She's been very active in the Living Word Community Church for many years and has held numerous leadership positions at the church. And she also serves as secretary of the Central PA chapter of the American Society of Travel Advisors. Her hobbies include, not surprisingly, travel, biking, snorkeling, and Penn State football for all the fans in the room. She is married to Michael, and they are the parents of 2 adult children. She is proposed for membership by past President Rob Bowen, who she attended York Suburban with. So if you would like to know more about Rob as a high school student, and I asked about this, and she said he was very reserved. Huh? This is not the same Rob Bowen that we all know and love. So, ladies and gentlemen, Julie Parthry. And last but certainly not least, Todd Hess. If you've been at any of our meetings over the last, I don't know, 6 to 12 months, you've probably seen Todd here about 50 times. He's finally joining. Welcome aboard, Todd. Todd earned his GED and then went on to the University of Phoenix, where he got a bachelor's degree in global business. He is the owner and president of Todd A. Hess Painting Company, and I'm sure he will be taking opportunities for quotes after the meeting if you need any painting work done. His community service includes he was a former borough council member, a thankless position, of course, in Mount Wolf Borough, but we thank people for doing it, even though it's thankless. His hobbies include reading, and he is married to Alex, who was kind enough to join us today. I believe she's here to make sure that he stood up here and got introduced. They are the parents of Todd Jr., who is 20, and Chevy, who is 17, and he is proposed for membership by Tom Donnelly. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Hess.
Todd, it's like I said, visit us once, welcome, visit us twice, welcome back, visit us 50 times, and finally you become a member. Welcome to the Rotary Club of York. We are thrilled to have you join us in our mission of service above self. Here you'll find a community of dedicated members to make a difference and a positive impact both locally and, as you heard today, globally. Your unique talents and perspectives will be invaluable as we work together on meaningful projects and initiatives. Together we'll build lasting friendships and create a better future for all. Welcome aboard, and let's make a difference together. And now to introduce our program is another fine, outstanding, true Rotarian, me. Sorry, Mr. Mayor Helfrich. Mayor Michael Helfrich is the current 2-term mayor for York City. Prior to being mayor, he served as city councilman from January 2012 to 2016, city council vice president from January to November of 2016, and president from November 2016 to 2018. He served as the mayor of York City from January 2nd, 2018 until present day. Mayor Helfrich is also known for his Cadorus Creek Improvement Partnership, leading York's volunteers in an effort that has since made great progress in restoring York's main natural resource. From 2005 to 2017, Mayor Mike served as the Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper, a legal and political advocate to improve waterways and communities around central Pennsylvania in northern Maryland. Mayor Helfrich is also a local historian and lives in the oldest owner-occupied home in the city of York, the Cookus House. built in 1761. In his spare time, Mayor Helfrich enjoys spending time with his young daughter Lily, researching the history of York and of early photography, fishing in the Cadorus Creek, and listening to and playing music around the York community. More than this, Mayor Helfrich has been both a strong advocate and an advocate partner of the Rotary Club of York. He was instrumental in a successful of not just one, but two projects for our club, including Kiwanis Lake and the Continental Square project. His approachability as mayor for York City makes him accessible to all its citizens with a mind of knowledge, compassion, and fairness, and in his own way, lives out Rotary's four-way test. Rotarian, it is my pleasure to invite Mayor Michael Helfrich to the podium.
I was just told that was my time. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And above and beyond everything, thank you for your partnership with the city for decades of work helping to improve the city. Kiwanis Lake looks amazing. We just had a fishing derby there the other day. The kids loved it. It was called Cops and Bobbers. And it was great. The police came out, firefighters came out and fished with the kids. The project in the square just looks amazing. And I love the Rotary's recognition now in the square and the four-way test being right there in the square for everybody to see and enjoy and contemplate. So thank you again for your partnership in so many efforts in the city. I'm going to start off today because earlier I celebrated the 2-year anniversary of the sale of the wastewater treatment plant. So I want to kind of take us back there a second back in 2019, we were facing a 48% tax increase just to meet the needs of that year. If any of you have a business or a family, you know that the costs of doing everything are going up every single year. And unfortunately, the property value in the city of York has not really increased since the assessments in 2005 to that 2008 period. We're always at about 1.6 billion in value. And 1 billion of that is actually taxable value. So 38% of the value of the city is not taxable. And for those that are not taxable, thank you for your gifts that you contribute. And a reminder, if you haven't, you're always welcome to donate to the city, even if you are not officially a taxed entity. But we were facing a 48% tax increase just to meet the needs of that year. We were also facing a 41% sewer increase. And that is just annual to keep up with the costs of running the city. So what we've been able to do in the first time in decades is to actually have investment money that is rolling off money. And that has rolled off almost $20 million in the first 2 years. So the total, when we bring in taxes at 100% tax rate, that's about $18.9 million. So just in the first 2 years, we got almost 1 full year of property taxes just based on those dividends. So we're very excited about that, and we're very excited that the city has no plan to increase taxes for the foreseeable future. So we got to work on the school district and make sure to keep an eye on the county. But the city government has a plan so that we will not be expected to increase taxes for hopefully at least 10 years. That's what we're looking at. So more on economic development. So I kind of broke things up a little bit here, or not economic development, but our finance and business administration. Last year, we appointed Kim Robertson to be our permanent business administrator, and she is doing an absolutely fabulous job. I believe the first female business administrator for the city of York. Our parking bureau, our human resources, we brought in 54 employees, including 11 firefighters and a record 18 police officers. And they have contributed greatly to the success that you will hear about as I close my remarks today. The parking bureau, some of this is in the minutia, but I know some of you are interested in detail, so I'm kind of throwing some of these in here. The parking bureau has now transferred all of the handicap parking system and ordinance to be resident specific. We've had this issue for a very long time where people were paying for handicap parking spaces, but they were not then for the resident that actually paid for them. So now we switched it around a little bit. Now there is no payment for it, but it is specific to the individual that has the need. So when there is a place in front of their home, it should be for them. And we're working to roll that out. Also in the parking system, we now have EV chargers in all of our parking garages. One last thing that you may like or may not like, by the end of the summer, we will be putting in 24-hour fees at the parking garages. Now, this will not be necessarily an hourly fee, but $2 or $3 in the evening. And most of that is because I don't know if any of you know this, but there is a little scheme in the city to avoid paying the city for parking, and that is to not leave until 6 o'clock in the evening, and then you get all day free parking. And we found that the city is losing a tremendous amount of money that we need to keep the parking garages running. So we're going to close that loop there. In 2023, we completed in Public Works, we completed the George Street paving project, including, I think I even may have announced this last year, but I'm going to go for the low or the cheap applause here. A left-hand turning lane from George Street onto Philadelphia Street, right? Right? It is something I've been trying to figure out how to do for a very long time, and we were finally able to complete that. We also completed the final bike and pedestrian crossing at George Street Bridge, which connects the York County Rail Trail through York City, the whole way from John Rudy Park down to the Maryland line, which is 27 miles, and then down even further to Hunt Valley, a 48-mile trail completed, the #1 recreational asset in York County. And we are very, very excited about that. We continue our improvements in the city's park system. In 2023, we added new pavilions at Bance Park, Penn Park, Hudson Parks. We rebuilt the playground at Williams Park, began the once-in-a-lifetime revisioning master plans for Bance Park, Farquhar Park, Kiwanis Lake, and Noonan Field, and they will be completed within days, really. And we are then working with the U.S. National Park Service, the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, and the York City Parks Conservancy on these extensive projects. And if you haven't seen the plans, we'll make sure we get them to you somehow because it really is the first major upgrade for Kiwanis Lake, for Farquhar Park, the first thing that's been done in many, many decades. So we're extremely excited about that. Additionally, within our park system in 2024, we'll bring new basketball courts at Memorial Park and the completion of extensive stream restorations. I think I saw Latisse here somewhere. Where are you, Latisse? She is keeping us focused on the stream restorations along Willis Run, which will improve the water flowing into Kiwanis Lake, which you are partially responsible for improving. We're trying to add on top of that improvement, and reducing flooding for those living near Parkway Boulevard. Finally, and this is a big one, in 2024, we're beginning the engineering to complete the replacement of the Market Street Bridge. Not only is the Market Street Bridge near its time for replacement, but the vast reconstruction improvements of the Cadorus Creek Improvement Project cannot move forward without the bridge replacement. I don't know if you've heard this or not. We've got these great plans, $75 million worth of plans to work on the Cadorus Creek, but the bridge is like 8 inches too low. And Congress, being a federally controlled, one of the few federally controlled flood control projects in the country, Congress is a stickler about that 8 inches. And so we have to go in and not only fix the bridge for about $5 million, but also increase the height of the bridge. So a total project cost of about $9 million. So we are putting through doing the engineering right now, and we hope to take advantage of some of this federal infrastructure money to keep that out of the local taxpayers' pockets anyhow. Our Department of Economic and Community Development has been very active. We've continued to provide grants to businesses and nonprofits through our ARPA funds. Over $1 million has gone out to nonprofits, and I think about that much to small businesses. And also, the city's comprehensive plan is nearly complete, and we will see the completed product within weeks. One of the things we've heard through those listening sessions and really everywhere is that we are in a housing crisis, and that is true of much of the country. This includes the state of our current housing and the need for more housing to reduce demand and stabilize increasing rental rates. To better address the state of housing, our Blight Task Force has been restructured and is functioning to improve the state of properties in our city or to have them condemned and positioned for improvement and better use. We have added an additional $550,000 to fight blight this year. To address the availability of houses, we have to do a few things. We must keep people in healthy existing houses, and we must build more new units. So in 2024, we're keeping individuals in their homes at Hudson Park Towers with funding to improve those 75 homes there. The residential development market is strong, and we expect to see hundreds of new units come online in the next few years, including redevelopment on and in the area of the Densply campus and the Northwest Triangle. But to encourage more affordable housing, we have awarded $3 million in developer incentives, and as of right now, that looks like that's going to be applied in the west end of the city in the area that is now the Hope Garden, the Green Street, Princess Street kind of area that was housing decades ago that was torn down. And now we're looking to replace that with 54 new units right in that neighborhood. As an additional incentive, we have developed the housing redevelopment overlay to allow for more units of housing to be developed in the city during this national housing crisis. So we're waiting for that to get passed by City Council right now. To assist in the development, we have hired a new building code official to bring more productivity and control of inspections in-house, which will in turn promote faster turnaround and an overall better process for commercial and residential development within York City. So what that means is hopefully we are almost done with having third-party inspections, that kind of thing, third-party plan reviews. So instead of having differences of opinions between the city, the developer, and a third party that we can't control, now developers can work directly with the city. Once again, they could years ago, but that got all kind of switched up. Now we brought everything, inspections, codes, all of that back in-house. And one last thing kind of in that department is our work that we continue working on those that are experiencing homelessness with the County Coalition on Homelessness, supporting Life Path, supporting Bell and Friends and Neighbors in their endeavors to completely recreate how we are working with individuals. For those of you that were at Better York yesterday, we heard Patrick Ball give an excellent presentation of how we really want to, there's no way to stop homelessness, but there is a way to better help people work through that process and to know and to get people connected with the resources and also to have the housing for those that need to be there for longer periods of time. And so I encourage you specifically, whether it's Bell or Life Path or Friends and Neighbors, those three organizations are really the ones we are strongly counting on to help affect change in this area. York City Fire Department continues to provide the highest levels of service to our residents. In case you have not heard, the Insurance Services Office increased York City's preparedness rating from a 3 to a 2. That actually happened last year, but on a scale of 1 to 10. So that puts us up at like the peak performance fire departments in the country. It's really an incredible rating. Shows that our apparatus is now up to date for the first time in a long time. And our water systems are available to help fight fires. It's a very in-depth audit, and we were given great recognition by the Insurance Services Office. We've replaced 2 new engines and now it's ordered. These things take a long time, but we have ordered the new ladder truck for the city of York. So by the time this is all done, and after I've passed on my office to somebody else, we will see that the city fire departments have essentially all new fire equipment. Really, I hope to leave our fire services in the best shape that they've ever been. Finally, oh, and of course, the Eagle Fire Station on Jackson Street has been reopened to be the station for really our inspection services from there and our administration, while the Rex Laurel is being restored, one of the oldest active fire stations in the entire country. I think we're arguing with Boston about who's got the oldest right now. But just an amazing restoration of an amazing one-of-a-kind building. And I want to thank, I see some representatives from some of the organizations that have donated to that effort. I want to thank you all. I'll still thank Governor Wolf retroactively here for the rack peas that have gone there, Penn Market, and so much investment in the city of York. Finally, while there are so many accomplishments and goals to be proud of this year, I believe the greatest accomplishment is our York City Police Department's partnership with the community. We have seen a record decline in homicides in York City. And the community has worked with our detectives to produce an 83% closure rates on homicides that occurred in 2023, 100% so far this year. And just so you know, the average in the country is like 57 to 60%. So this really shows, and it really shows because police and detectives, they can't do it by themselves. This is really representative of Commissioner Muldrow and our police department creating bridges that had kind of languished for many years. And folks, we're getting a lot of good feedback and the fewest complaints ever for our department. We saw a 59% reduction last year. I'm sorry, 70% reduction in homicides, 75% reduction in homicides by firearm, 59% reduction in persons struck by firearm projectiles. And that 59% is not below last year or below 2022. That's below our average. So we are really just dropping, when you compare to, you know how it goes. When you compare yourself to the worst year you had, it's easy to look good. But you compare yourself to the averages where you've been for the last 10, 20 years, then you really see what your business or what our business, the city of York, is doing here. And just, I did leave a couple of, I left a couple of the GBI annual reports around, and I apologize because I have tiny little printouts here, but needless to say, I'll just, for the graphs, I'll just put my arm like this. And you can see that basically every graph looks like this. Every graph is a huge, huge drop off. So person struck incidents. Last year at this time, we had approximately 14. So again, last year was a record year for low crime, however you want to say that. Last year at this time, we had 14 persons struck. This year we're at 11 right now. And that's what the long-term graph looks like. If you can see that, I'll just do this again. The most important thing about our group violence intervention initiative is it's very specific to gun violence, very specific to young people or any people that are involved in group violence. And last year we saw a record low for the first 2 quarters of only 4. So let's just go back. The year before in 2022, we had 14 basically gang involved shootings for the first half of the year. Last year it went from 14 to 4, and now we're at 3 this year. So I I don't usually celebrate incidents. I celebrate trends. And the trend is looking good enough that I feel like I can celebrate a little bit here. And this is the trend going down. Homicide incidents by firearm. In 2022, we had 13 by this time. In 2023, we had 3. This year, we have 1. That is worth celebrating. Thank you. That's really all I have for you here today. I wanted to leave as much time for questions as possible. Did you take up all my time, Aaron?
No.
Oh, Courtney. Oh, now the Singapore trip. Okay. Anyhow, thank you, everybody. Thank you for all of your support. And with me, please just what I keep doing every day is praying for more of 2023, but a little bit better. And so far, that's what we're seeing. Can I answer any questions?
Go ahead, Jim. Wait till the thing gets-
What is the current population of York City?
Well, for those that answered to the census, it's about 44,000. I would put it closer to 50 to 55,000. We have a low participation from Latinos, and we know we have a growing Latino community. But here's something for you to all get ready for if you haven't yet. 5,000 to 6,000 Haitians in the last year. So yes, we had. It's funny because I just met with a Haitian delegation yesterday, and I was like, "How'd all the Haitians get here?" And because I'd been telling people, I think it's the same way all the Germans got here. You know, the first couple of Germans got here and they sent letters back over the boats and they said, "Yeah, this is a pretty cool place. Come on over." And that's exactly what happened. I met a beautiful Haitian family that's been here for 25 years. And essentially, when things started going horribly in Haiti with the hurricanes, the earthquake, and the dismantling of their government, essentially all happening at the same time, folks were given status to be able to come over here. And they had heard from their family members here in New York and said we were a welcoming community. And so we've got a great influx of individuals. Also, just an amazing support team that these Haitian folks have through the Haitian church in Eastern New York City. They are just bringing people in and really helping them get everything in order so that they can be successful. And Commissioner Muldrow and I are going to be visiting them at their church here shortly to certainly encourage them to work with the government to explain to them that for this very reason is why the city of York itself does not enforce immigration policy. Because when you have an entire community, some of which is absolutely allowed to be here, some of them came with their families because what else were they going to do? And so I will agree that some of the folks coming in are not documented to be allowed in the United States. But if you do not let them know that they are part of your community, then they specifically are disenfranchised and do not become part of your community. And if, God forbid, some crime happens within their group, that crime, and they don't report it, guess what happens? That crime then comes into everybody else's group. So we want to make sure that we do everything we can to encourage folks that we are with them. We're here to help them open their businesses, and to make sure you report crimes to us so that we can help protect them and help protect all of us. So. Get the hook?
You got the hook.
I got the hook. All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
As a citizen of York City myself, I can say firsthand how my family and I have enjoyed all the positive change that the mayor has outlined that the city has gone through, and all thanks to your hard work. And it's not just that the mayor has been very successful, but he has done it with a vision, collaboration, and most importantly, a big heart. On behalf of our Rotary Club, thank you for your leadership in our city, and we look forward to continued partnership with one another to make this city a better place. In honor of the program, the mayor has signed the book platelet in the book, "We Are Water Protectors" by Carol Lindstrom, and it will be donated to the YMCA of Roses, along with the bookmark made from students of Creative York. And next week, we've got another great program. We will hear from Ted Evgenetius and Devin Winand, who will be discussing the history of both Shanksmere Outfitters and the Lower Susquehanna Riverkeeper Association. The recent retirement of Shanksmere's owners Liz and Steve Winand provide an opportunity for the LSRA to continue outdoor education programming that has introduced over 30,000 area students to the Susquehanna River. Having said that, have an amazing Rotarian week. This meeting is adjourned.